him later. Focus on Keener.
What about the deal, ma'am?
Fuck the deal! Fuck Krenenko, and fuck you! That is the objective!
And a patrol moving toward the Ferris would... Dolores is moving through the haunted house up ahead.
System curtailed. System back online.
Deal's all. I don't really need you anymore. Stick around. Enjoy the park. It gets cold in here at night. But don't worry. I got something.
I just spotted Dolores in the patrol on the boardwalk. Looks like they barely managed to pass by a group of cleaners.
System disrupted. System reactivated.
Yes, I can take care of those sorry ass before I can get the cleaner. Just fucking... Really shitty day, but killing you might cheer me up a bit. Only one way to find out.
Ma'am. Ma'am? Come in. Fuck! Jones is gone. We failed the mission.
Cleaner, that son of a bitch. Not only did he manipulate the black tusk, he suckered us too.
So go ahead and get into this build real quick. Apparently I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm running the gunner class and running St. Elmo's engine as my primary. It's not maxed out, as you can tell. Running it with damage to targets out of cover. And that's pretty much it. It's just sitting at expertise 13. And then my primary is the brand new mask, the Catalyst. I was one of the unfortunate souls that had to farm for a long time to get it. And thanks to a clanmate, Long, but he was the one that actually got it for me. I was on my second run for today, but I think it's probably like 17th or 18th overall, trying to find that mask. And I went ahead and finally found it. So here's why I'm using this mask. So Catalyst dealing and receiving status effect, burn, bleed, shock, EMP, disrupt, poison, and blind and disorient. Build stacks of Catalyst to a maximum of 12. Each stack grants 2% weapon damage and 2% status effects. Each enemy within 25 meters that is affected by a status effect grants plus 1 stack per second. Being affected by status effects grants 2 stacks per second. Stacks decay at 1 stack per second after 5 seconds if no enemies are in the radius or you are affected by status effects. Reactant. At max stacks, killing an enemy affected by affected enemy grants bonuses for 5 seconds, a 25% armor and 20% reload speed. Stabilizer. While burning, you can maintain ADS and without disruption. That is why I wanted it. Simply because of the bonuses that I can stack running St. Elmo's on shock and being able to get that extra bonus of, protection and so on and so forth. Okay. Running a 4-piece Heartbreaker. Obviously not everything's maxed out. I don't have enough materials to do that. So once I do, I will max this build out, and it's become pretty much my new favorite solo and team running build. Ran a legendary summit with a few people from the clan today, and this build was keeping some pretty squishy people alive by itself. That's pretty good. All right, so obviously running all of these, crit chance on everything, and then kind of the backpack that's going to set it off to keep people alive and keep yourself up. And that is the Lavoisier. All right, so the talent on this is perfect galvanized. Applying Blind and Snare, Confuse, or Shock to an enemy grants 50% of your armor as bonus armor to you and all allies within 30 meters of that enemy for 10 seconds. So as long as you target an enemy that's kind of in the center of the group, you're going to keep giving out bonus armor. Okay? And we all know what Heartbreaker does. So the talent on the Heartbreaker is Heartstopper. Headshots apply pulse for 5 seconds. That's why I kind of aim at the head quite frequently. This is probably one of the better ARs to do it with. I do have another Heartbreaker build that I run the Glory Days with. Simply because the minute of angle or accuracy for this game is a lot smaller. Pretty much shoots like a laser beam. Although the optimal range is nerfed. Okay. Back to the Heartstopper. Weapon hits on pulsed enemies add a stack of 1% bonus armor and 1.1% weapon damage to pulsed enemies up to a max of 50 stacks. Okay. And then I'm running the max BPM, the chest talent, which increases the max stacks for Heartstopper from 50 to 100. So because this thing is running 70 rounds, if I can stay on target with one target like it's heavy or so on and so forth, I'm going to get a lot of bonuses, start stacking up damage. And that's really going to set this build out. I tried for a long time to make this build work without the catalyst, and it became a little squishy. I did run it with the Catharsis for a little while just because of the healing, but I wasn't helping other people as much as I was helping myself with that. So once I was able to get the catalyst, because I knew what it was, because other people had it, and I read the stats on it and everything else, I was like, this is going to be great. All right, so I run this. My backup is the Purist with Perfect Streamline. Okay. As long as I don't have my shield out, this works out well. It's not preferred, but I like it. I like it. Plus, I want to get the proficiency up, so I just keep it in my secondary slot for a while. So that's how this is running. I run the Crusader Ballistic Shield. Running health, and I don't really have anything else to put in here because I don't have the active mod for it. And then the Reviver, because everybody goes down from time to time, and this build is not exactly a tank build, but it's pretty close. It's a tank DPS build. I'm running a 4.2, so I get 1.4 million armor. Like I said, it's not optimized. I think I can get it up to like 1.5, maybe 1.6 after I get the prestige or expertise levels up and get it running right. It's a fun build. It's going to help you. And if you sit there and answer the call and do random missions, this is going to keep some people up as long as they're within radius. And you got to remember, they're going to be within that 30-meter radius. It's going to keep them up and give them bonus armor. And if you're running with a clan, if you're running the Intimidate build, you're going to get that stack of bonus armor more frequently. So you're going to be giving them additional DPS, which is just going to help you in legendaries. Like I said, I was running it with a legendary team, and it's an amazing build. We were flying through the summit legendary, flying through it. And it worked great there. Now, I haven't done a legendary mission with it yet because everybody was either doing the summit or doing something else, farming, whatnot. We do have intentions of doing it, and I'm going to try it in the raid later on to see if it actually works out well there. There are some spots where it's not going to be beneficial, but I do believe it's going to end up working out well in the long run. All right, so stats before I get out of here, right? So this one here currently is running at 58% crit chance, 94% crit damage. And like I said, my armor regen is 4.6 because I do have a piece on here that I need to optimize. And that's the Lavoisier. If I can get this with crit chance, crit damage, that would be amazing. But like I said, I've been looking for it and I haven't found it yet. So hopefully I can get to it eventually. And then, so this is running for almost 20% hazard protection. I don't really use it for hazard protection. It's not my thing. I'm not going to be running this in PvP. It just doesn't look like it's going to be a PvP build, simply because of the reason, the stacks that are required to proc everything. So it just wouldn't be very beneficial there. You need something that's on demand for PvP. So that's going to pretty much do it here. Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and break down what I'm running. That way, the stat bonuses All right, so for my active modifier, I run Assault Link. And then for my passive modifiers, it's going to be the Loaded Up for the crit chance value added to crit damage while at tier 5, so that increases your crit damage. The best kind of defense, passive modifier, while at tier 3 in firearms and stamina, 2.5 headshot damage. For the armor, I'm running a good amount of armor, so my headshots are harder. You're going to be aiming for the head a lot anyway because of the Heartbreaker build. And then I'm running extra padding, so 5% protection from elites for blue core. So I get a little extra protection from elites. So it stay up a little bit longer. I can get in their face a little bit better, especially when I'm stacking armor. I can get up and face tank with this build. So it ends up working up quite well. And you notice on there that I didn't drop, not once. I've got some builds where I've kind of praised them, and I ran in teams where everything would tier up, and I would drop more frequently and more frequently, so I stopped using them. Trust me, I've not put any of those out. They're test builds, if you will. But this one right here, if I do drop, it's because I got surrounded or I put myself in a bad situation to pick up a player. So that's why this one won't work if you're completely surrounded. If you're trying to pick people up to make sure that your, DPS gets back up a point and you're, reviving people. You want more people playing, right? Obviously. So that's how this is working. I love it. I strongly recommend it if you can get the catalyst, or if you have it already, to kind of put something like this together. Maybe some of you will get that actual unicorn, I call it, for the Lavoisier. I'm still looking for one. I wanted one so I could switch the core to red because I was going to put it on something else. But if I do that, I'm going to switch out the holster and turn it blue because it comes that way. And then I can pretty much run the same build up, but I'll have the Lavoisier for when I want on other builds. All right. That pretty much is going to do it for the Infidel. That's rounds complete, end of mission, and I'm out of here.